Have you been wondering where's the beef? Well, on our podcast, Throwback Trivia Takedown, you might just find that out, as well as some other things about the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
We're a nostalgic-based trivia show that pits two challengers head-to-head in a duel of the decades, with categories ranging from movies, TV, and music, to slang, food, and fashion. You're sure to get the best in retro-themed trivia.
So strap on your jelly shoes, grab a Surge, and walk like an Egyptian to your favorite podcast app and check out Throwback Trivia Takedown.
I heard even Mikey likes it.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name's Ken. Welcome back to the studio, boys.
Fresh snow outside.
Fresh
Our
snow.
ankles are drenched.
Yes. My feet are cold, but it's good to be back.
And your heart is cold.
Yeah. To be honest, this is our first episode back in a while. We took a little holiday break there, but now we're back.
Yeah. We don't really know what happened the last recording. I can't remember what episode we recorded before the break, but
Christmas. It was Christmas,
was
Neil.
it? Oh, it was, I guess. Yeah, in November, I believe.
Yeah. That's your standard Christmas recording time, right?
Yes, and you must be hating this, Matt.
The weather, the
Yeah.
snow, the recording, any of those things.
It's a
No,
toss-up.
I love being here.
Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's it means coming back to a little bit more work, but I always have fun. So,
But we have a great episode today. We got a couple exciting guests joining us today. Let's start with our competitor today, Gill. She's a secret agent out of Connecticut, and she's an Oakland 5 supporter, which we greatly appreciate. How you doing today, Gill?
I'm doing good.
I'm just kidding. She's not a secret agent. But tell us a little bit about yourself. I see you have quite a collection behind you.
Yes, my fantastic Lego collection. I've always been a fan of trivia, and so I found you guys because I kind of searched in podcasts for trivia, and you guys came up. Started listening to you guys. Now I've heard every single episode on my way to and from work and when I'm running, because I run a lot. And so I'm hoping today that I can answer as many questions as I can get correct when I'm in my car.
Yes, of course. And glad to hear you just searched us and it came up. The algorithm works. Thank you to Neal for naming us Triviality.
You're welcome.
Triviality, the trivia show with trivia for
Yes.
trivia.
Exactly. And our next guest who will be hosting today is Ian Schulze. He's from Vermont. He's an Oakland 5 supporter. Thank you for that, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, as you said, I live in Vermont. Do tech support from my house. I get to be snowed in all the time and still work. I don't get snow days.
The dream.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. Just got back from a walk with my dogs in the nice 15-degree weather. So,
Ugh. How fresh is that maple syrup up there?
it's very fresh.
I was just thinking
My,
about it.
You drink it straight from the tree.
My neighbors have sugaring lines in their maple trees.
It's fascinating business how that works.
Because we know nothing about it.
Well,
We don't know what sugaring lines are.
I listened to a podcast once, and I was just fascinated by them like sticking things in a tree, and then stuff comes out.
I've seen people tap
Let's
trees.
drink that.
Let's drink it. Yeah, what about the first guy
Put
who
it
did
on
that?
flapjacks.
What's this sticky substance? I'm going to drink it.
I
Well,
drink your syrup.
They cut the tree down, Neil, first, and then they're like, this wood sucks. And then
But
they
it's
smell
tasty.
it, and then they start licking the boards, and then one thing leads to the
That
next.
coffee table is delicious.
So they're all called board lickers, right?
just a bunch of New Englanders just licking wood. Someone walks in. Hey, what are you guys up to? I'm going to back out.
Well, enough about licking wood. Before we start playing, we got to get the rules. Neil. So let's have Darren kick it off.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
All right, now we know how to play. Shall we begin?
Yeah, Matt, do you want to play today?
Yeah, I think I'll play today. I mean, I came all the way here, so
Yeah, so we'll be partners today. Matt and I were overjoyed by some news just this past week, actually, that Aaron Rodgers was eliminated from the playoffs and the Packers are gone because we're big Bears fans. So, what should we name our team today?
He owns the Bears, he says, but there will be no Packers in the Super Bowl, so we're saying no Pack, no.
All right.
And in honor of Jill's wonderful collection of Legos, which I only aspire to as nice and organized as that is, because I'd like to get there one day myself. We're going to be Go Leg Go.
Go Let Go. All right. No Pack No versus Go Let Go.
Hope it'll give us a little bit of luck.
The winner gets crowned Go Ninja Go.
That sounds fun.
All right.
Ken's not playing today.
I'm gonna
out.
score keep. So let's kick it off, Ian.
I just finished listening to the latest Game of Death episode while out on a walk, where you guys were feeling pretty old with their references. So I'm probably 15 years older than you guys. So I popped a couple Centrum, and I'm ready to go. So here we go. First question: current events. On November 30th, 2021, Barbados became an independent republic. On the same day, what good girl gone bad became national hero of Barbados?
You guys locked that
We
in?
can lock in.
Yeah.
Jill, did you hear this one in the news?
No, but I think the end of the clue gave me a hint, so I think it's Rihanna.
I'm almost positive it's Rihanna, famous Barbadian, I think. Is that how you say that?
I'm glad that the second he said Barbados, I didn't just go Rihanna. Because I almost did.
We also locked in with Rihanna.
Points all around. The answer is Rihanna. Good Girl Gone Bad is the name of her 2007 album.
All right, good start, guys.
Excellent. So, question 2, art. Buried in the small town of Hoosick Falls, New York, where she spent her later life, is an artist that came to prominence in her 70s. In 1938, she sold her paintings at a drugstore for $3 to $5 each. 3 years later, she had her first solo exhibition titled What a Farm Wife Painted. The paintings would soon sell for $8,000 to $10,000. What name is this matronly artist popularly known as?
Do you have any ideas?
No, I don't know anything about art. So, yeah, we'll lock in with whatever you write.
Okay.
Well, matronly makes me think Grandma Moses, maybe?
I like that a lot. That would also explain, coming to prominence in her 70s. So that sounds good to me. So we'll lock in with Grandma Moses if you're comfortable with that.
That sounds good to me.
Perfect.
That sounds like a real answer. We didn't know. We had we were tossing around Mama Cass, obviously not right. We just went with the classic Martin Lawrence movie Big Mama's House.
Well, points to Jill. The artist is Grandma Moses. I pass a historical marker out every time I visit Jill's home state of Connecticut on my way through New York.
All right.
Question 3.
Good try, guys.
Well, we heard Big Mama's House was adapted from some famous art, so could only go one way.
When you're good to Mama, Mama's good to you, Neil.
I was going to say Mama Morton, but I knew that was wrong.
Good old Chicago.
Alrighty, question 3. It's right in the name. Founded by the Raffle brothers in 1964, is an American fast food chain. Contrary to an urban myth, the name of this chain does not represent their primary sandwich ingredient. What is this company with nearly 3,500 locations?
It's not Wendy's, because I don't think every hamburger contains a little bit of Wendy.
I think I told that story before about my great-grandma who refused to eat a Burger King because then one on the corner by her house had a giant figure of a king sitting on a burger, and she said if they have a person sitting on the meat, I don't want to eat there. When it first came out.
Prudent advice.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
I only want to eat meat that's been sitting on by a king.
That's what Smash Burger is. The question is 3,500 locations a lot?
They don't have that many of those.
Do you think they have 3,500 of those?
Yeah, they're very popular in the West Coast and the
Oh, they
South.
are? Okay. All right. We can go with that.
Okay, we're locked in.
So my first thought, if the only one I can think of that has a food in the name is Steak and Shake.
I like that a lot. That's about the size of the amount of franchises I would think they would have, a smaller restaurant. And I couldn't think of any other good ones. Everything else that I had like sort of a thing in it much larger. I mean, Burger King's got to have 15 or 20,000 locations. Taco Bell doesn't make sense in that sense, and so
we just learned that all the meat is pressed through cheeks at Burger King.
Have it your way.
But no, I like Steak and Shake. That sounds like a great answer.
All right, they locked in with Steak and Shake. I also like Steak and Shake as a food, not as an answer because we didn't put it down. I was thinking possibly it's more of a West Coast and Southern chain, but maybe Wiener Schnitzel. I don't know if that's a meat, but it's also a name of a food chain, so we locked in with the Wiener Schnitzel.
All right. Well, I guess I swept you guys on this one. The answer is Arby's.
Oh, I was going to say Arby's because I
What is
just
an
ate there last
Arby?
night.
There's an urban myth that stands for roast beef, RB, but it's actually for Raffle Brothers.
I'm
was
so
gonna say
hungry, I could eat Arby's.
I was thinking Arby's. That doesn't make any sense. What is that? And then
Yeah.
I just went right through.
I had just read that urban legend too, and I didn't even think about it.
So some of our friends went to Arby's yesterday to try that spicy sandwich that they got.
Yep.
And they're out of it.
Completely
so
out of
they
it.
literally did not have the meats.
They didn't. Ving Rhames lied to us. They did not.
Alrighty, let's move on to question 4. East Coast literature. Primarily known for his other writings, what author has only one novel to his name? The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket.
I kind of like your middle one.
That's an American, right? East Coast guy.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the guy who wrote? I don't want to give any clues away. I can't think of the name of the thing now.
If I Did It. That was O.J. Simpson.
Famed American poet. So we wrote down a few names here. One we think is too obvious. One we don't know if that's even an author or a poet. And one who I think wrote something we both enjoy a lot. So we're going to lock in.
I was thinking short stories, and I was thinking East Coast, and my first thought was Washington Irving, because I know he was from New York, and I visited where he's buried in Sleepy Hollow before.
Okay.
But that is not a 100% answer. That was just my first thought.
No, that's good. I was thinking of other East Coast writers. I'm trying to think. Could this Poe wrote a lot of short stories, but I don't know if he ever wrote a novel. Other one novel people that I could think of didn't really fit with the novels I know they wrote. Yeah, you want to go with because Poe is from Baltimore, so
Right. I'll go with whatever you're, because I'm not 100%.
No, I'm not either. Let's try Washington Irving and see what happens.
Yeah, we both wrote down Poe first, just because East Coast. But then I don't know where it came from. I wrote Irving, and then I said, Matt, who wrote the Headless Horseman story? And he said, I think it's Washington. And we said, wait a minute, it's the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we went with.
So yeah, Irving Washington, right?
Yeah.
No.
Washington Irving.
Oh, points to me again. You guys, everybody went right past this one, and it is Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh,
Mm.
overthought it.
Yep.
Sorry, Jeff.
No, I had no idea.
I didn't think it was Poe.
Ken
Yeah,
loves Poe.
he's buried in Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken. So Baltimore's on the East Coast too.
Mm.
This might be a stupid question, but the Baltimore Ravens are named
Yes,
after Poe?
yes.
Okay. I wish they had a Poe like on their helmet,
Yes,
though.
that is a stupid question. And
Just
yes,
like
that
his like bust.
Yeah,
The
just a bust.
mascot, the mascot for the teams in New York is the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow.
See, that's cool.
That's cool.
I like cool mascots.
Yeah.
All right, question 5. Tools. First developed by Hugh Halligan, the Halligan bar is now available in a number of sizes from 18 to 54 inches. Due to possible conflicts of interest, it was not first purchased by the city of New York, but instead by the city of Boston. So many New Yorkers brought them from Boston, and then after a while, the city relented, city of New York that is, and started buying them from Hugh as well. Most likely, users of a Halligan bar are in what occupation?
No, he said the category was tools, and I thought it was going to be an Aaron Rodgers question. But
What's in New York?
There's a lot of scaffolding in New York.
You've been there. Who's there? What's there?
There's a lot.
Garbage.
Garbage. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a tool that they would use a ton. I mean, something to do with lifting. What do you call them? Oh my God, I'm a brain
Girders.
fart. No, the things on the street where
Say
the steam
Gerbers?
comes from.
Girders.
Girders.
Is that what they're called?
Those are the big metal things.
Oh, I
that
thought when you go
for
to a
the-
wedding, they always say make sure you get the girder off with
That's
your
a
teeth.
garter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd love to go to a wedding where someone throws the girder.
Throws the goiter. It's worse.
Oh,
It's disgusting.
Happy wedding. Yeah, I'm not sure. I really don't know. I'm trying to think of a tool that's that long.
Well, we're gonna lock in.
You had to.
We're gonna lock in, and I have an idea.
Okay.
Something of that size, I would think that you'd need a lot of. If it's a bar, I'm thinking of like some tool to really apply a lot of torque, especially when you're talking about like 1.5 feet to more than 4 feet. So I don't know if it was for removing train wheels or something to do with the subway system, or I don't know why New York would eventually relent, but is it subways or skyscrapers? I'm just trying to figure out, maybe some application there.
I like subways because Boston's got the T.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. So we'll say that they're a rail worker, maybe just to be generic. Okay.
Sure.
I think it might be some kind of either Jaws of Life or Jackhammer type item. So we're going to say construction.
All right. Well, Ken and Jill got the closest, or sorry, Jeff and Jill got the closest. The occupation is actually firefighters. It was developed by a New York City firefighter, and it's basically a steel bar with tools on the end that they use to pry open doors and things like that. So I forget who said it, but Jaws of Life was kind of close, but not quite there.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
All right, so no points on that one, but with 5 questions elapsed, looks like No Pack No has 10 points. Go Let Go. Looks like the secret agent training is paying off. They have 20 points.
Double the score is not too impressive when it's only one question.
Score.
All right, question 6, the final frontier. The NASA programs of Atlas and Neowise have a mission. In a way, the mission is to let the people of Earth know if we need to recreate the events of a blockbuster 1998 science fiction movie which won a 1999 MTV Movie Award for Best Movie Song and a 1999 Razzie for Worst Actor. What is the mission of Atlas and Neowise?
To drug Mr.
I'm
Pink.
Sure, I'm seeing the lights going off, Jill. I think we're good though.
Wanna close my eyes.
Oh, you're locked in.
Don't want to fall asleep.
Yeah, we're talking about Armageddon, and in that movie, they tried to send a mission to break up an asteroid meteor that was heading towards Earth to make sure there's no impact. So I guess to answer the question, they're studying.
They're trying to blow up
That's
an
fine.
asteroid.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they're trying to prevent an asteroid or meteor from hitting Earth.
But they can't send astronauts. They have to send a construction team.
Oil rig.
I've got robots I can send. That was a really bad impression from Don't Look Up, but you got it.
Yes, I was going to say planetary defense from, asteroids, meteors generally. So I think that works, right?
Yep.
All right. We're good. We're locked in.
Yep, points all around on this one. Both programs are looking for Earth impactor asteroids.
Would you say deep impact, possibly?
I felt that one coming on.
You guys remember when you were in like the junior high school dance and Don't Want to Miss a Thing would come on?
Oh, that's a classic one.
You
There's
look
so many.
across the gymnasium, catch that girl's eye.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Or
sit
boy.
there and not do anything.
Yeah. With your hands in your pocket.
I had many
Shuffle your
awkward at dance where my hands were.
I don't want to hear where your hands were.
We're
at
so
these dances.
sweaty. We're so sweaty.
I don't believe this, that you had awkward experiences
This
as a
episode
youth.
will be called Neal's Clammy Palms.
Hey, those clammy palms had many dances. Never amounted to anything. though.
Please move on to the next question.
Normally
please.
about with Bryan Adams.
Happily. We're going on to question 7 here. Playing the part. Joseph Grimaldi is commonly accepted to be the first example of what type of performer? Examples can be found in a Chicago television show that aired from 1949 to 2001. And another example was played by Tim Curry in a 1990 miniseries. What is this occupation? Or what is the type of performer?
We are going to lock in over here.
I think Jill knows this one too. What do you think?
Well, Tim Curry miniseries, I think Pennywise, I think Clown.
I do too.
We also locked in with Clown, and being here in Chicago, I believe he's talking about Bozo the Clown. That's what we locked in with.
We are talking about Bozo the Clown.
I went to a taping of that once,
Yeah.
and I was so so angry I didn't get to do the
Buckets.
the buckets. Yeah,
The buckets.
because I practice at home all the time.
He still does.
just in case.
Wait, didn't somebody in the studio say that they were the play at home?
I was the play at home.
You were the play at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my
But your kid
my
sucked, right?
loser kid couldn't even sink 2. I got nothing.
What a loser.
Did you ever
Loser.
find that guy and like say you're a loser?
He's a wiener kid. Well, I'm saying it now on my podcast.
He's like a 40-year-old man at
Hey,
this
Matt.
point.
Yeah, Tony Richards
Matt
from
knocks on
Waukegan.
his, Matt
You
knocks
stink.
on his door. And
I'm
just
gonna
busts his
throw this out
kneecap
there,
with
Matt.
a-
But owning someone on your podcast less impressive than you think.
That's fine.
Regards from Bozo.
Yeah, my mom put me on a wait list for tickets for that show when I was a kid, and I had to be infant or something along those lines. And by the time we actually got to the top of the wait list, I was no longer interested in being on Bozo's
You
circus.
were
It was a
25
serious
years old.
You're just tall in a sea of children. It's like, come on down, Ian. You're like, I'm gonna stay here.
He was still wearing the little pants, though, that he had when he was that age.
It's like in 2015, the people who are signing their infants up for like Cubs season tickets.
meet Clark the Cub. No thanks.
All right, question 8. Wagons ho. The Conestoga is a type of heavy covered wagon used primarily in the eastern United States in the 18th and 19th centuries. It was named for the Conestoga River and thought to be developed by German settlers. In which U.S. state?
No ideas where the Conestoga River is, Jill?
No.
Okay. Thinking about German settlers, though, I always go to Pennsylvania because of the Pennsylvania Dutch. So I don't know if that.
I like that.
Okay. It's a big state, so maybe they have a Conestoga River. It's on towards the East Coast, so lock that in. We'll say
Sure.
Pennsylvania.
That's what I wrote down, and no disrespect to anyone living in Pennsylvania, but every time I drive through it, I never remember where I am, how long I've been there, and when I'm going to get out.
Yeah, we ended up locking in with a state that I know has a lot of rivers. Very close to Pennsylvania. We're going with Ohio.
Should have listened to Neal on this one. It is Pennsylvania. All right, question 9. He ain't heavy, father. He's my brother. Founded in Omaha in 1917, Boys Town is a non-profit organization that began as an orphanage for boys. Who was the Roman Catholic priest who founded it as the City of Little Men? A 1938 movie was made about him, starring Spencer Tracy.
Well, he was alive at the time. No, he wasn't. Was he? Pope John Paul? Let's just say Pope John Paul II.
All right.
I believe it is Father Dunn.
Not sure who Father Dunn is, but it is Father Flanagan. The category title, He Ain't Heavy Father, that comes from a possibly apocryphal story about one of the boys carrying another who couldn't walk, I believe because of polio possibly. When asked if the carried boy was heavy, the boy replied with that phrase, "He ain't heavy, father, he's my brother." And like I said, movies have been made about this Father Flanagan, and yeah, it's
Flanagan.
really heartwarming story if you ever look it up. All right. Question 10. Hello, insert city name. The words at Budokan are included in the titles of live albums from Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, Ozzy Osbourne, and probably most famously Cheap Trick. What was Budokan originally intended for?
All right, we could not figure out what this possibly could be, but we just latched on to Buddha, and we thought maybe it's a convention of worship of Buddhism, possibly. So that's what we went with.
That was my same process of thinking,
Okay.
but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think of is with Bob Dylan that it would be like a protest or something, but
Whichever you feel better about.
let's I'll flip the coin. And we're gonna go with a protest.
Hey, Jack, you want to play spoons? Yeah. Oh, we already said worship. Yeah, so that's our answer.
Okay, unfortunately, no points here. Budokan is an indoor sports arena that is in Japan that was built for the Olympic judo competitions of the 64 Olympics.
Wait, is that where they do New Japan Wrestling? Or no, maybe that's somewhere else I'm thinking.
That's somewhere else. I'm
Sumo?
thinking of.
No, like the big wrestling event is that other dome that's famous.
He's talking about like top rope jumping off.
Yeah, like
suplex.
Yeah, that kind of Japanese wrestling. Yeah,
wrestling.
but there's another dome that they all have a huge event in. I can't remember. Maybe it's called the Superdome. I don't remember.
It's not.
No.
We could end that round very painfully.
All right, after 5 questions, looks like it is 30 for no pack no and go Lego. or in French, go the go. 50 points.
So before we get to the swing round, Jill, I just have one question for you. You have a beautiful Home Alone house behind you made out of Legos. Very, very important question. If
yes,
Kevin,
it's pronounced Lego, not Legos. Lego
Yes,
is
there
plural.
are tiny traps set throughout.
that was part of my question.
There
The other
are.
question was if Kevin McAllister was visited by the Predator on Christmas with enough time to plan, would he beat the Predator or would the Predator kill Kevin McAllister?
That is a difficult question. I still think Kevin would definitely win that one.
All right, Kevin versus John Wick.
Oh, John Wick for sure.
And then
And
John
Kevin
Wick
has
wouldn't even have
killed
to enter
John
the
Wick's
house.
dog.
John Wick would not even have to enter that house.
Catherine O'Hara comes back at the end, right? When she leaves him, and
Kevin has dropped a bowling ball from the top banister on John Wick's dog.
Played by Joe Pesci.
And then Catherine O'Hara comes back, and then she kills John Wick, and Kevin's like, "You're home." She goes, "Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back."
All right, let's get the swing round already.
All right, the swing round. State mottos. Each of these will be a state motto. Some are kept in their original languages, some have been translated. Since state mottos are often vague platitudes about statehood or blessings from above, for the more difficult ones, I've added a bit of a clue. So here we go. Number 1, north to the future. Number 2, Eureka. An important find was discovered here. Number 3, state sovereignty, national union. Number 4, the crossroads of America. Number 5, the English translation from the French is the Star of the North. This state is also known for its many waters. Number 6, Oro y Plata, ironically the only motto in Spanish. Number 7, live free or die. Yeah. Number 8, Excelsior, the home of many heroes. Number 9, the English translation from the Latin, may the 14th star shine bright. It was the 14th state. And number 10, equal rights, the first state to grant suffrage to women.
We will write these down and be right back with our answers. Okay, all the answers are locked in. Before we throw it back to Ian to hear those questions one more time, I just wanted to remind everyone that I have my first book coming out. It's called Being Patrick Swayze, Essential Teachings from the Master of the Mullet. It's going to be released on April 26th, but for all listeners of Triviality, from now until March 1st, there is a promo code if you'd like to order the book and pre-order it through the publisher. So if you go to trivialitypodcast.com/Swayze, that's SWAYZE, you can get 30% off your purchase directly from the publisher. They told me that all pre-orders are going to be super important. Pre-orders in the first week of release to help just give some publicity to the book, but also give me a chance to write another one. And I wanted to give that opportunity to you. Some of our patrons got that promo code earlier, but now you have it for the month of February. So if you'd like to use that, go to trivialitypodcast.com/Swayze. And I'd really appreciate if you'd help support me and the show.
Yeah, and I did read the book, and after I finished, my hair grew back. So balding men out there, your new hair loss cure also.
Yeah, you got a glorious mullet from reading it. There's some trivia in there, some games, some essays, things like that. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of good things, Easter eggs for Triviality fans, and yeah.
All right, let's toss it over to Ian and get the questions one more time. See what our competitors came up with.
All right, number 1, north to the future.
We locked in with Wyoming. It was a guess.
And we said Alaska.
Yep, and the answer is Alaska.
That makes sense. That's the most north.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Oops.
Number 2 was Eureka.
99% sure this is a state I once lived in, California.
We also said California.
Points all around. Number 3, state sovereignty, national union.
We went with Louisiana.
Yep, I think this is actually on a flag that you've seen flying overhead quite a lot, gentlemen. I think this is Illinois.
This is Illinois.
I've never heard that phrase one time.
I haven't either. Yeah.
I thought I would die in the land of Lincoln.
I was wondering if I'd catch you guys out on any of that.
Took me way
Number
too long to figure that one out.
Well, to be fair, Illinois has a very busy flag.
Yeah, that's true.
It's way too much on there.
It's the O'Hara flags.
Mm-hmm. The construction cones and all the other stuff they put on there.
Number 4, the Crossroads of America.
We know it's one of those middle states. We think maybe this is Missouri.
We said Indiana.
Yep, and this is your guys' neighbors, Indiana.
Oh, boy.
The Illinois flag actually has Illinois dunking on Indiana on the flag, right?
Yeah, they got actually Michael Jordan to pose for it.
Yeah.
His silhouette, yeah.
Larry Bird is just cowering in the corner.
The flag is just a meme.
In the future, it will be.
Number 5, the Star of the North.
We went with Minnesota.
Figured with all the clues about lakes and the fact that they once had a team called the North Stars, we too said Minnesota.
This is Minnesota. Number 6, and my apologies if I'm mispronouncing this, but Oro y Plata.
We're not 100% sure. We think maybe this is New Mexico.
This is one I know that I had heard before, but couldn't remember. But luckily, Jeff still knew, and it is. We said Montana.
Yep, so ironically, a state that borders Canada has a Spanish motto, and that is Montana.
Mm.
Number 7, Live Free or Die.
Yeah, thanks to Live Free or Die Hard, Die Hard 4, we went to New Hampshire.
Actually have this logo up in the studio. We have a little bumper sticker from New Hampshire. Listener gave it to us. It says Live Free or Die, so we knew New Hampshire.
Yep, New Hampshire. Number 8, Excelsior.
I think this refers to something with Marvel. I think From the Heroes Are From. We said New York.
We also said New York.
Points all around. It is New York, home of many heroes, super or otherwise. All right, number 9, May the 14th star shine bright.
This one we weren't really sure about, but when we went through the list and all of our answers, we said there has to be a hometown nod here for Ian. So we just took a guess and said Vermont.
I believe you're quite correct with that. We too said Vermont.
Good game theory guess. It is Vermont.
Mm.
And number 10, Equal Rights.
Not 100% sure on here. I think it might have been on the West Coast, so we said Oregon.
Yeah, we said Wyoming.
Points for Wyoming.
Mm.
All right, that will conclude the swing round. Both teams did pretty good, picking up 25 points. No Pack No, bringing their total score to 55 points, but acing the swing round. Go, let go. And they had 50 points coming in, so they're at 100.
Got some work to do, Neil.
I know, we're trailing far behind.
So, second round. It's not the biggest river here. After losing his re-election bid of 1912, as you do, Theodore Roosevelt and his son Kermit, yes, that was his name, undertook an exploration adventure in South America. The Roosevelt River is now named for him. In what country is the Roosevelt?
Do you have anything, Jeff?
I was hoping you might. I don't really. My thoughts are I'm thinking of places that would have a lot of rivers. Brazil would obviously have a lot of rivers with the Amazon, probably tributaries and things like that. My other thought was maybe Colombia, right down the way from Panama. So,
Yeah, that sounds good.
apparently we like naming clothing companies after South American countries. Now that I realize. Let's just say Colombia.
Colombia, yeah.
Heard it's snowing in Colombia today too.
So I was thinking about the time that Neil came out to visit me, and we had some delicious Peruvian food.
Mm-hmm. Mario's.
Yeah, so I'm thinking let's say Peru.
I like it.
Well, the Amazon River does go through Peru, but I was hoping you guys would get to Brazil.
We keep saying the answers. We're just not locking in with them.
Well, we want to get the right answers out of the way so we can get to whatever nonsense we're going to say.
What are all these right answers doing in here?
Get them out of here.
We tease like we know things.
They don't spark joy. Get them out.
Hey, Dad, do you want to go to Carnival?
Yeah.
Imagine Teddy Roosevelt at Carnival.
I wish we could.
Why is that not a Netflix series?
It's wearing a sequined like bra.
The sequel to Emily in Paris. is
I had a
Teddy
glass
and
of brandy
Brazil.
and she was dressed as a pigeon.
The sequel is Teddy and Carnival.
I wish we could talk more about the Kermit thing, but we can't because
It's too dirty.
someone will figure it out.
Not safe for work.
It's not safe for work.
That's so funny.
Or this podcast.
All right. Next question. Moving on from Kermit. Such a happy little guy. Slimy is the pet worm of what fictional character who first popped out of a can in 1969?
I believe he was orange at the time. I think this is Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, I knew it sounded familiar.
69 popped out of a can. A garbage can, possibly.
Back in '69, popped out of a can.
It'd be
Is
a
it Bob Dylan?
It's your Bob Dylan. Earlier it was more of a George Harrison, and now it's moved on to whatever that was.
A little more Bruce Springsteen.
I would say a bad Bruce Springsteen.
Hey,
So Oscar?
Yeah, let's go.
That's fine with me. Is he? Yeah, I guess he popped out of a can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar.
And Jill.
Yep, it's Oscar the Grouch.
Points all around. It is Oscar the Grouch.
Good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were due.
All right. Question 3. It really sticks with you. Trash polka is a mixed media form of a particular art style that uses mainly black and red to combine photorealistic portraits with large black areas and geometric or abstract shapes. What art style is trash polka a form of?
I believe we can lock in Jill.
I'm surprised Jeff remembers.
This has been
I
asked before, right?
Never forget. Except I do all the time.
Ken, did you ask it?
No.
No, but I know who did.
I learned this before too.
On the show.
It was on this show.
very show.
It was the opposite.
I don't want to say who I think.
It was the opposite.
We
it
had
was
to
an inverted
answer.
question.
We had to answer trash polka.
That's right. I think it was misinfo.
It's possible.
I was just talking to someone about trash polka.
Because it was like if Weird Al did an Anthrax song.
I honestly can't remember where I got the idea for this question.
That's thrash polka.
Oh, so close.
So we're looking for the
Scotty is so mad at you right now.
we're looking for the art form that
Yeah.
uses
It's like
like papier mâché.
yeah, but it's not.
Because it never is, Neil.
No, it was that one time we
I'm
asked a
just
question
being funny.
about
I'm being funny.
Frida Kahlo's or Diego. I think he did some kind of paper mache stuff. But it's like a collage, I think. I think that's what we're looking for.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, just a lot of different pieces of art and photographs and
Yeah.
that sounds good.
So we're going to say collage.
Sadly, no.
I think this, Jill, correct me if this sounds wrong to you, but I believe this may or may not be what's on Neil's back were it to exist. So I was going to go with tattoo.
All right. And points to Jeff and Jill. It is tattooing.
See, if I had one, I'd know the answer.
If you had one. But we don't know.
All right. Next question. The lady with the data. The pie chart was developed by William Playfair in 1801. The polar area diagram, a type of pie chart, was developed later in the 1800s by a nurse when she demonstrated that bad drainage, contaminated water, overcrowding, and poor ventilation were causing a high death rate. Who was this person who, in 1859, was the first woman elected to the Royal Statistical Society?
We're probably looking for a famous nurse, right?
Yeah.
So there's two.
I don't think either fall into this time
Yeah.
frame, but
I don't know. Should we just lock in with a guess?
it's a shame that there's only two.
Yeah.
What was the name of the category?
Just in terms of trivia.
Yeah.
The name of the category was The Lady with the Data.
Who played Data in Star Trek?
Brent
doesn't help.
Spiner.
That doesn't help.
How did you know that? Right off the top of his head. Brett Spiner. You're a sick man.
He didn't miss a beat. It's like he's
I
a
know.
Trekkie or something.
It's like
I'm
we
sure he's never
planned
seen
it.
an episode.
We're locked in with something.
Well, when he was describing this pie chart, it sounded like a Venn diagram.
That was my first thought too.
Right?
But is there someone who's is it named for somebody? Like
I
could
mean,
we just
Venn
say
could
Venn?
be the name of the nurse. I don't know. I
Sure.
don't know the history of a Venn diagram. I just love memes made of them. So
It's as good as an answer as any, I think.
okay, we will lock in with Venn.
Oh, that's smart. We didn't even think of the charting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
I think you just really like the name Nightingale and
Yeah.
the movie Frequency.
right,
The Nightingale
it was
murders.
between that and Toronto Raptors coach Nick Nurse. So we went with
Nightingale.
yeah.
All right. So points to Matt and Neal on this one. The lady with the lamp, otherwise known as Florence Nightingale.
Oh, no way.
We don't
The
deserve
polar-
those points.
Well, we missed
The
the
polar
I
Poe.
thought
area.
that was too obvious. Sorry.
The polar area diagram was originally called the Nightingale Rose diagram.
Wow.
I like that name better.
I'm
See-
kind of pleased it was one of the two.
Yeah.
Well, we should just be going with our gut now because we're overthinking it. We could have gotten Poe.
Mm-hmm.
But-
that's it.
We could have gotten tons more points.
All right, let's get question 5.
All right. Question 5. An expert in many fields. What mathematician, physicist, and astronomer in 1701 developed his own temperature scale, which he named after himself? His interest in temperature came from his work with various metals at the Royal Mint.
I think
Our current scale is too convenient.
I think he was working with his partner, Hobbes, who had all the credit. Is this Kelvin? Is that who this
I
is?
think Kelvin, right?
Yeah, it's Kelvin.
Kelvin.
Yeah.
I get the joke though. I don't like it.
No, it's fine. You don't like it. We're gonna lock in with Kelvin.
Fahrenheit was also named after the person, but
Mr.
I
Fahrenheit.
think this is Kelvin. So
That's what I was
Lord
thinking.
Kelvin. Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, this is Isaac Newton. He defined his 0 point as, quote, the heat of air in winter at which water begins to freeze, and even more ambiguously, a scale of 6 was the heat of midday about the month of July. So you can see why we don't use it today.
Wow.
Because it sucks.
The gravity of losing is just on top of us right now.
Yeah. We're at -2 newtons
I
in
took
here.
one too many apples to the head.
Not too strong of a first half of the second round. 75 for no pack no, and go let go, 120.
All right. Question 6. I'd love to watch him work. Gala's husband was a Spanish artist who is known for his unusual images. He loved her so much that he would sign both Gala's and his own name on his paintings, and went so far as to say about her, "It is mostly with your blood, Gala, that I paint my pictures." Who was Gala's husband?
All right, we're gonna be the don't overthink it boys from the last 5 questions here. We're gonna lock in.
Any ideas on this one, Jill?
Not really. Do you?
I wasn't thinking this sounded of Picasso necessarily, but maybe Dali.
That was actually like I was thinking Dali. Then you just said Picasso, and I was like,
I think we should.
So-
Guts have been not checked today, so let's just go with it and say Salvador Dali.
So we wrote Dali, but right now, as I'm saying it, there's that one other artist in Spain that is just as big as Dali that
There's
did
3 Spanish artists.
well 3. There's Picasso. There's
Our
Dali.
trivia
there
book
are
would be
2
terrible.
nurses,
Yeah,
2 nurses, 3 Spanish artists,
and a
One
partridge in a
Dutch
pear
boy.
tree.
1 Dutch boy.
What's the name of the other
The
artist?
partridges
We
were on
wouldn't
a
lock in with
bus.
it.
What
But
are
do you
we-
know who I'm talking about? That other big Spanish artist that did like real dark paintings, maybe about war.
Goya.
Goya. So it might be Goya, but we locked in with Dali.
The beans guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd love to watch him work as painting melting watches in his paintings. This is Dali.
Oh, right.
Thankfully,
Nice.
kept it simple.
All right, 10 points for the don't overthink it boys, 10 points for go let go.
All right, question 7. Ask your local conspiracy theorist. Cassiterite is the primary ore from which what metal, the 50th element on the periodic table, is smelted?
Let's just say it's not silver, gold.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's platinum. I don't know how this works with.
Yeah, you want to? Okay, you just want to go
It's
platinum.
not iron.
Yeah,
Let's just say platinum.
platinum.
The don't overthink it boys.
Overthinking it.
Overthinking it.
All right, Jill. I was pretty sure I knew it right from the get-go. I had to weed out a couple possibilities, but then when I thought about conspiracy theorists, I always think of their hats being made of aluminum, but it's more likely that people say they're made of tin.
Oh,
So I think we should lock in with tin.
okay, I like it.
All right. So yeah, if you're a hipster conspiracy theorist, you're going to use cassiterite to make your artisanal tinfoil hat. This is tin.
Aliens.
Nice
Oh.
job.
The characterization of it as an artisanal hat.
my,
Priceless.
my ethically sourced tin.
Music and movies. In 1983, Buffy St. Marie became the first Indigenous person to win an Oscar. The song she co-wrote, Up Where We Belong, reached #1 in the US. The song also won both the aforementioned Oscar and a Golden Globe for Best Original Song. What 1982 Richard Gere film was the song written for?
I'm going to pick Matt up here and walk him through a factory. We're going to lock in.
And I won't be back for 10 minutes.
All right, Jill. Looks like you had this one cold.
Yeah, I believe it's an officer and a gentleman.
And we'll lock that in.
We also said an officer and a gentleman.
Points all around. It is an officer and a gentleman. Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes also won a Grammy for the recording of the song.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, pioneers. Name the man, sometimes called the father of science fiction, for whom a science fiction award is named. He was an inventor, writer, though by most accounts not a very good one, and editor. He also published the first science fiction magazine, Amazing Stories.
All right, we wrote down a bunch of names. We cannot think of the one that we think it is. We know the books that they wrote, so we have a backup answer that we're locked in with.
So I had a couple thoughts.
Yes.
My first thought was Kurt Vonnegut, but I don't know science fiction.
Yeah,
and Ray Bradbury, and then I thought Lovecraft.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about H.P. Lovecraft. I think he was more like horror. Then there was I think you're onto something with Vonnegut. I don't think is science. It was science fiction, right? Is that what we're looking for?
I mean, the
I guess
ones
a
I've read
little
of him
bit.
seems kind
It's a
of
science fiction award.
fiction-y.
Science fiction
Yeah.
award. I like Bradbury. The other name I had in mind is it Isaac something or Asimov or
Asimov. Yeah. I mean, the part of the clue that says he wasn't a very good writer kind
Yeah.
of threw me.
Because
I don't
everybody
know.
that you mentioned, I think, is pretty praised.
So
Yeah, I'm really struggling here. I feel like I've heard it, but I think Bradbury has an award. So do you
I
want to go
do
with that?
think so too. Yeah.
Okay, we'll lock in on that. Well, I guess we'll say Bradbury.
Yeah, we wrote down a bunch of names: Asimov, H.G. Wells, Arthur C. Clarke.
Oh, War of the Worlds. Yeah,
we
Clark.
couldn't think of Jules Verne. That was the name we were trying to figure out.
20,000 Leagues.
But
Yeah.
we ended up just going Asimov because we couldn't figure it out.
All right, no points on this one. This is Hugo Gernsback.
Mm-hmm.
If you look on any science fiction, well-known science fiction book cover, you'll probably see Hugo award-winning, or something
Oh,
along those lines.
yeah.
That was a name I couldn't think of. I knew I've written questions about Hugo award-winning books.
It's
but-
funny because I've seen that and I never thought about it being a first name. I thought Victor Hugo or something. I never even thought about it. Like
Yeah.
literally. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about trivia is that you run into something like, oh, I've seen that 1,000 times. I never actually knew where that came from.
Never bothered to look into it. Yeah.
All right, question 10. Ray Charles will tell you it's the right one. Across the East River from the United Nations headquarters in New York City is an iconic neon sign which was built in 1940 and relocated to its current location in 2003. It was designated as a New York City landmark in 2016. What beverage company does this sign advertise?
We can look in.
Neal has a strict advantage having been to New York City, where I have not.
It's Yoo-hoo, right?
It is Yoo-hoo. Half Yoo-hoo, half Nesquik.
This is what that Seinfeld episode was about, right?
Mm-hmm. Kenny Rogers Roasters.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
You guys are locked in, you said?
We are.
Wasn't Ray Charles in a Pepsi commercial?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he was definitely in a Pepsi commercial.
And
So-
isn't that the slogan of Pepsi?
What was the clue?
The category name is Ray Charles will tell you it's the right one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's Pepsi.
Yep, in New York they have a red Pepsi Cola sign, so we locked in with.
Points all around. It is Pepsi Cola.
All right, concluding the second round. Looks like Go Let Go has a resounding lead with 160. The Don't Overthink It Boys, 105. Now entering the final round, let's get the categories.
All right, so your final round categories, fairly straightforward. They are number 1, literature. Number 2, records. Number 3, history. Number 4, ancient history. And number 5, pop culture.
And all the wagers are now locked in, so let's go ahead and get the questions.
All right. Question 1, category 1, literature. The Screwtape Letters, published in 1942, is an epistolary novel written by one author and dedicated to another. Both authors were Christian men who debated with one another over how to portray Christianity in their works. Name the 2 authors. Number 2, records. The Barbie doll, the Atari 2600, the bicycle, and the cardboard box have all been enshrined in a Hall of Fame. What Hall of Fame are they part of? Number 3, history. The American Revolution came to an official end in 1783 with the signing of the Treaty of what city? Number 4, ancient history. Joyeuse is the name of the legendary sword of one man who was King of the Franks, King of the Lombards, and Emperor of the Romans, though not a god. Name the king, the so-called Father of Europe, who lived from 748 to 814. And number 5, pop culture. Take your pick and name the city in New Mexico that was named for a 1940s to 50s radio program.
All right, those are the questions. Everybody's going to think about them, and we'll be right back. And we are back from the final with the answers. Let's see how everybody did. Ian, can you please read the questions again?
Certainly. So, question 1, literature. The Screwtape Letters, published in 1942, is an epistolary novel written by one author and dedicated to another. Both authors were Christian men who debated with one another over how to portray Christianity in their works. Name the 2 authors.
On the line for this question, the Don't Overthink It Boys, 5 points, and Go Let Go, 10 points.
Yeah, this one I knew both authors were friendly and wrote each other quite a bit, and one author's works, his series, had a lot of Christian influence. So we locked in with C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, Jill and I couldn't come up with it. I feel bad knowing that it's Tolkien, if that's correct, that I didn't figure this one out. But yeah, we got nothing. So I think we're losing 10.
And yep, they've got it with Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. They both kind of argued over how to portray Christ and Christianity in their works. Number 2, records. The Barbie doll, the Atari 2600, the bicycle, and the cardboard box have all been enshrined in a Hall of Fame. What Hall of Fame are they part of?
We wagered 30 on this one, and I do think I remember hearing about this in that documentary thing on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us. I think this is actually just the Toy Hall of Fame.
And for 15 points, Go Let Go.
We also said the Toy Hall of Fame.
Points all around. It is the Toy Hall of Fame.
We were going to overthink it.
I know. Is it the Smithsonian? What is it?
Number 3, history. The American Revolution came to an official end in 1783 with the signing of the Treaty of what city?
20 points for Don't Overthink It, and 20 points for Go Let Go.
Yeah, I always try to remember both possible answers. Matt said, "Is this the Treaty of Versailles?" And I said, "No, that was World War I, World War II era." And I remember the other one is Treaty of Paris. So we said Paris.
Very nice. We too said the Treaty of Paris.
Points all around. It is the Treaty of Paris. Number 4, ancient history. Joyeuse is the name of the legendary sword of one man who was King of the Franks, King of the Lombards, and Emperor of the Romans, though not a god. Name the king, the so-called Father of Europe, who lived from 748 to 814.
I'm much more confident now that I heard the not a god, because I think that does lend to the rapper who is Charlemagne the God. So we locked in with Charlemagne.
And that's for 20 points.
We had the same conversation once Jeff said Charlemagne, and yes, Charlemagne the God. So yes, Charlemagne.
Not holy,
Also-
not Roman, but definitely emperor.
Also for 20 points.
And the correct answer is Charlemagne. And question 5, pop culture. Take your pick and name the city in New Mexico that was named for a 1940s to 50s radio program.
All right, it's going to be 30 points for Don't Overthink It and 20 points for Go Let Go.
This one we just said, let's not overthink it and take our pick. And we know that there's a huge film business in Albuquerque, and we thought maybe it all started in the 40s with the radio business. So we said Albuquerque.
And this was actually a trivia question that I had heard a long, long time ago before, I ever started playing in pub trivia or in the bars. Just weird places around the United States. And there's a little town in New Mexico called Truth or Consequences that I believe is the right answer.
Wow.
This is Truth or Consequences.
Man, what a fact. I've never heard that before.
Well, we deserve to lose if they're going to get that one. So
That's the truth.
Good job, Jeff.
now, what are our consequences,
Jill.
Ken?
All right, the consequences are, well, no consequences because you guys did pretty damn well in that final round. You actually picked up points, ending with 150, but Jeff and Jill cannot be stopped. They got a ton of points in that round, and it's 225. So they are the cream of the crop.
And don't forget it, Dutch boy.
I'd like to say a big thank you. Jill helped me out on quite a few questions I would have been totally lost on. A very, very true partnership today. I think we really built something together. So
That's right.
Great job.
Legos?
Yes, thanks so much for having me, guys. This was so much fun. And thanks, Ian. That was an awesome game.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I had a great time today. Thanks to everyone on the Discord who play tested this for me, and thank you to the guys for letting me come on and quiz them. To all the youngsters out there, go ahead and smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe.
Great shout out by Ian there for the Discord. So if you aren't a member of our Discord, please join it. We usually have links in the show notes, or you'll be able to find it. Just message us if you can't. But there's a lot of playtesting going on there. So if you are interested in hosting a game, get it playtested.
I'd also like to congratulate Matt and Neal. I think they did a great job. I think they played well. And, kudos to you guys.
Admirable fight.
Oh, thank you. Well, we lost, we're like Rocky.
Mm-hmm. And great job to Ken. I think those scores are accurate.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
Great job, Ken.
Thank you. I'll treat myself later to like a hot cocoa or something.
That's a nice sentiment there.
All right, Ian, any last words there?
Not really. Just go ahead and support some local charities. Go ahead and volunteer at a shelter or soup kitchen or something like that. Go out and help your community.
There you go.
There's
And I
definitely...
shouldn't say last words because life goes on after Triviality.
It does.
Of course. Jill, any final shout-outs?
Sure. I would just like to thank my family for helping me make the time to come on today. Not even just helping to make the time, but basically saying, you got to go do this because I've been saying this for a while. Don't forget to be kind to each other.
All right, get back to your secret agent business. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a joy to have you both. And that will be our episode for Jeff, Neal, Matt, and myself. That was Triviality.
Is now named for him. In what country is the Roosevelt?
Hey, how you doing?
just like
Did you know Roosevelt had a river?
I was trying
No.
so hard to not bring up the Kermit Omegle thing on this episode, and it just drops right in my lap.
Yeah.